Joining us now is a guy for the Tennessee Titans, a man who hosts Bussin' with the Boys podcast, which is great alongside Will Compton. It's great entertainment, to be honest with you. A hilarious individual who happens to play tackle in the NFL for the Tennessee Titans, ladies and gentlemen, alongside his right-hand man, Taylor Lewan.
Yeah. Thank you, fellas. Woo! Thank you for having me. AJ, next time I'm introduced, if you don't clap, we're going to have some problems. But it's all right. What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Hey, Taylor, how are you doing? Now, I tried to guess what stage of rehab you were in. I forgot how long ago you were on the show. I tried to do the math. You're walking now? How are you feeling? Are you getting a metal scrape up and down your scar tissue yet? What's going on? What stage are you at?
That has happened several times. I am 12 weeks out yesterday. And so I'm walking. We're getting the quads firing. I never had big legs to begin with, so not a lot of atrophy there. But it's going well. It's going good. I think at week 16, week 17, around that 4-month mark, I will be cleared for all football activities, beating Ndamukong Suh when he tore his ACL in Nebraska. Not keeping score, but that's the pace I've heard I have to beat.
Jeez. So what's been the hardest part, I guess? So you're 3 months out. Does this part suck worse than the beginning? Like, what's the toughest thing?
The hardest thing for me was, when I got hurt, it was almost a calming feeling for whatever reason. Like I sat there and I was like, it was always a huge fear of mine. Like, I'm an athletic tackle. I can run. I don't bathe regularly. It was always a thing. I can move around. And I was always so afraid to get my knee getting hurt that once it happened, it was like calming. Like, oh, this is the worst thing that can happen to me. I'm going to be totally fine. So the only time it was difficult was during the season on Sundays, watching the boys go out there and play. That was always hard. I was definitely in a little bit of a slump during all that, but it's been since the season's ended, obviously we got Bussin' with the Boys podcast. I get to come and talk to you gentlemen. There are things that keep my schedule going to where I can still have a creative outlet other than football. So it's been a cool experience, and I think it's going to be a positive one and overall in my life. And so I'm really excited about the opportunity for next year.
Guys, whenever they get hurt or have season-ending injuries, they're still in the training room in most years. In the morning or whatever, they're checking in. They kind of get a chance to at least be in the building with some of the people. I'd assume this year you were not in the building at all, huh? Because of the COVID clearance and everything like that?
Yeah, I left immediately. I was not going to wake up at 6 a.m. and get COVID tested every day.
But Dak
Prescott can have it, baby. I'm so proud of him. Him saying on the news he's going to go in there, go to the meetings. What a guy. What a team guy. And I love that. I didn't do any of that. I actually bailed immediately and went to Florida. Dr. Andrews did my surgery. I spent a week down there. And then I came here. I have an incredible team of people. Luke Richardson is a guy who helped start Exos, which was Athletes Performance in the beginning. He's now at Lipscomb Academy, which I know you guys.
Oh, Trent Dilfer. Let's go Mustangs. Let's go Mustangs.
He's the strength coach for them. So this woman named Anna Hartman, she's an incredible PT lady, comes from San Diego. So she flies in just to work with me. I got the best team you could ask for. I got the Pilates reformer right there. I hit that at least an hour a day, every single day.
Canadian
and then
flag.
I go do my workout. I go do my rehab. So at this point, it's really like quad strengthening and workouts. So I might have the best ACL repair anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, well,
it might go down in history.
That's what I was going to ask about, because you had Ndamukong Suh's recovery time from his college days at Nebraska in your mind. Was there a goal that was laid out by somebody, I assume, in your life, or was this your goal? Like, hey, okay, what did Ndamukong Suh do whenever he was at Nebraska? I don't even know how you remembered that had happened and how did you get to that goal? And I assume those little things are kind of what keep you going, obviously, through this whole thing.
Well, everything in my life always stems back to Will Compton. And so Will Compton played at Nebraska. When Will got to Nebraska, there was a guy named James Dobson. He was head strength coach there. Unbelievable guy, good raspy voice, chiseled cat, really a guy you look at and say, yeah, I want him to work me out. And I've been to Vanderbilt a few times, done a couple of workouts with him, absolutely dominated him in a few things. But he and I have developed quite the rapport. And so he calls me 4 or 5 days before I answer the phone. He doesn't say sorry. He doesn't say, oh, I hope you're feeling okay. He goes, well, when I first got to Nebraska, Ndamukong Suh had a partially torn ACL, and we played wall ball. And he tore it fully, and I thought I was going to get fired on the second day of my job. But he came back in 4 months and played in the season. So he's like, so that's what you have to be. And that was the end of the conversation. He hung up the phone, didn't even say goodbye, and that was it. And so from this day, it's been my head has been, okay, 4 months, I got to get cleared for all football activities. Now, I'm going to get cleared at 4 months. because I've recovered that well. But I think the worst thing guys can do is like, okay, now I can go do everything. Like, I'm still going to go through every process. I got 8 more years, good ones before I start doing the downward slope.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got a big thing coming up. I like that you're standing. What we got next? What's going on? You all right?
You see that? Come on, pal.
That's beast. You had that. That's that punt team kick step, dude.
Yeah,
that's a punt teamer.
Got to get some depth. You know what I mean? We're in a deep. We're in a deep shotgun. We are in a deep shotgun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love it. It's standard. Shoulders are square, legs going back. You look phenomenal. You look great.
You should see. I hold the shit out of them too, but I never get called, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I think I've held more than anybody, and I mostly get called, so it does matter.
I do remember that it was happening, but then you beat it. By the way, you beat it.
Yep.
Way to go.
Mm-hmm. Hey Taylor, what do you think? What about the 4 teams remaining the playoffs? Like, do you watch now? I know the Titans are out. It was tough to watch your boys. What do you think? Like, who do you think's going to take it?
Okay, so I wanted the Bills to donkey the Ravens
because of
and then once that happened, now I'm thinking, I think the Chiefs. I can't see the Chiefs not beating the Bills. It's because they're so good right now. I think it really depends on Patrick Mahomes plays, right? And how is he from a mental clarity standpoint? Because watching the game against the Browns, it looked like his head didn't hit very much, but he looked like when you know how like the punk kids in high school would grab the goose by the beak and they do that and they kill him. Like that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like it happened to his neck.
What? Excuse me.
So I'm thinking.
Nah. Like there's a lot of things we have to talk about. Okay, there is a lot of. I have no idea about any of these punk kids grabbing gooses by the beak and breaking their necks. That's unbelievable. This was something that happened.
You've never heard of this before?
No, bud.
There's some guy probably watching the show that's probably committed arson before that knows exactly what I'm talking about. If you grab a goose, and I've never done this, PETA, I know you're watching, I have never done this.
Yeah, and I would also like to say the opinions in whatever Taylor Lewan says right now do not reflect that of the opinions of the other 2 men that are currently on the screen.
Right. Well, I'd love it if you put me in that, but insurance policies have been laid. I expect you to that. If you grab a goose by the neck, by the head, and you give it a whip, it dies. It snaps its neck.
Right.
Its neck's so long.
All right, how do we?
All
right. Okay, so all right, let's move on. It did look very scary.
So Patrick Mahomes looked like the goose that I was trying to explain. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what happens with spines. I'm not a doctor, right? I was a general studies major at Michigan. I think if Pat plays, I assume the Chiefs win. Now, Tom Brady is a Michigan legend, all right? Mm-hmm. There's Tom Brady, me, and then there's everybody else. But, like, Tom Brady's number 1.
Of course.
So Tom is the Bucks. And then, Aaron Rodgers had the best season out of everybody besides Derrick Henry. So you think Aaron Rodgers would win this game, but I'm hoping Tom Brady and the Buccaneers win this game.
Okay.
Just from a Michigan guy to Michigan guy. So I finally got there. I apologize.
No, I like that you gave a very detailed breakdown of all of it, by the way. Not a lot of people do that. It seems like you have it well thought out. And by the way, that's why Bustin' with the Boys is such a good podcast, because you're a deep thinking man, especially in your time. So sorry to interrupt. If you're a man watching this, you deserve to have long, great. And you can do that now with our friends at Roman. Right now, you go to GetRoman.com. You get $10 off and free 2-day shipping on Roman swipes, which are guaranteed to make you have longer, more fulfilling every time you get in the sack. Now, let's get back to the fornicating action. Can we talk about the concussion protocol? Have you ever been in it?
Several times. I don't think I've ever had a concussion, but they've said I had a thing in Miami, Andre Branch. I'm still going to get you back someday. Blindsided me, and I don't think he's in the league anymore, but I'll get him at like a charity event or something.
AJ tackles dudes out at golf courses. You could probably do something.
Yeah, no, I don't think if I ever saw him at like some sort of charity event, I'd definitely, like in the chin, and then he'd be asleep and I'd tweet worth it as the cops were taking me away. But
Jesus.
That's
a little bit harsh. Don't you think that's a little bit harsh? Should we not move on, you don't think?
I don't know. I'm petty, dude. I get petty so easily.
Yeah, you just knocked the guy out at a charity event.
Yeah, but I feel like whatever my bail was, I'd match that for the charity event, then everything would be okay. You'd be square. So we'd work out something in that way. Like you'd match. What's your bail? 10,000. Okay, we'll do 10,000 for charity also, and everything's okay.
What a hero.
But I think I got knocked out against Miami. He did that. That's the reason why I was saying I was joking. I was joking about that. But
thank you.
You go through the protocol. Basically, you know how it is. You have your baseline test, and then once you get knocked out or anything happens from a concussion standpoint, you have to meet those baseline guidelines. and a neutral site doctor.
Yeah,
like
what
a
is
doctor
that?
that's not affiliated with the team at all has to clear you.
Is he from Nashville, though? Was he in Nashville, that doctor? Who was it? And did you sense any, like, fanhood in that person?
The guy knew that he was like, yeah, as I'm walking out the door, the guy goes, hey, I love the way you play. So obviously he knew I wasn't going to it as he cleared me for the game. But I'm saying, like, I had a week. I got hurt, and Mike Vrabel, he's an amazing dude. He's for the boys 100%. Texted me on Tuesday. He goes, don't even plan on playing this game, even if you get cleared. Like, you're taking care. Like, he took care of the boys, which you don't get a lot, especially with head coaches. I just don't think you get that. And Mike helped me out quite a bit doing that. And you got to reach the baseline. Once you reach the baseline, you have to have like no symptoms. Everything's got to be zeros, the 1 to 10. How's your head feel today? Do you feel stuffy? Did you have trouble sleeping? What about the light? How's the light feel in your eyes? It all has to be zeros. Hawk, you know what I'm talking about. Pat, I don't know if you've ever been hit, but Hawk, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I have been. And I've also knocked some motherfuckers out, yeah. 25 tackles, by the way, in my career. I learned the other day.
Yeah.
25.
It's incredible. That's 7 more than Will Compton had this year. So that's unbelievable. He's a linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah, but Will, forced fumble. Forced fumble.
Yeah, he did. Damn right.
Yeah, you got
highlights.
Yeah, you're damn right he was. He's a hero.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Pat will play. I think you'd have to, like, the guy's going to do whatever he can to play, right? Going back-to-back AFC championships, I think it's the first time since Philly did it when Andy Reid was head coach of them as well. So it's like pretty unbelievable stuff that they're headed towards, and I can't see a way that Pat doesn't play. I hope for his safety he does whatever's best for him. I think if Pat plays, game's over. No offense to Bills Mafia. I've tangled with them one too many times. They're the most unbelievable fan base. And I would absolutely hate to catch any heat from that. But Pat's on top of his game right now. And it's hard to bet against him. And I'm taking Tom Brady on the Bucs, even though I don't know if that's a winning bet.
Hey, so going back to this Andre Branch situation, you say you got blindsided. You were blindsided. Were you out cold on the field but not concussed? I mean, that's an impressive move.
Buddy, I took a nap, dude. I was out there. I got up, and I'm looking around, and all my teammates are like fighting, like they're all kind of getting it. Which you look back and you're like, hey, I appreciate the boys. And I'm like, who we fighting? What's going on? And even Will's right there and was like, hey, you got knocked out. Everything's fine. like I said, everything goes back to Will Compton. Was like, hey, you got knocked out. You're gonna be fine. And I'm like, and I just start just bawling, crying. And like Ben Jones, our center, comes and takes a towel and puts it over my head. And kind of just directs me to the locker room, and that was the end of that. But Andre,
why'd you cry? Why'd you cry?
Yeah, Pat, I don't know what the brain, how it works. If you hit a certain way, the part that has your feelings, you wake up and tears come out. I went home and I started crying to my wife. I'm like, she's like, how do you feel? I was like, well, I feel good, and I just think that, and I just started crying again. So, but I'm, concussion or not, I do like to tear up. I put a good movie on, Warrior, Titanic, any of those types of things. I'm out. The tears start flowing. So, but Andre Branch starts walking back to his bench, and they have him, yelling body bag and all this different stuff, which I love it. I think it's unbelievable because I'm into petty. I can't not double down on petty. So, good for him. He got me.
Let's talk about a little petty and awesome. From an outsider's perspective, obviously not an insider's perspective, but I thought, first of all, you guys going on Ravens Shield, Harbaugh, Vrabel having that situation, becoming an entire thing, I love it. Like, I love that type of stuff. Okay, I absolutely love it. I assume there's a lot of people that are like, oh, that's not in football. I love it. And then Marcus Peters, by the way, remembering immediately upon and not forgetting. Like, I think that is something that I was so impressed with on the outside. It's like, oh, here's a little payback. And I heard you and Will talk about it in a clip from Bussin' with the Boys about Will saying, I'll just put all the Jordan cry faces on there as soon as they lose or whatever. And by the way, he did immediately upon it happening, and it did very well or whatever. But what were your thoughts while watching that whole thing? I enjoy it. I don't know how you guys were handling it internally or via group text messages or anything like that.
Yeah, so basically what happens for the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years, the Tennessee Titans, when we go on an away game or even go on a home game, we go to the middle of the field, we break it down, right? It's us against them type of mentality, the whole rah-rah thing, right? Insert Denzel Washington, remember the Titans bullshit speech, that whole thing. Like, that's our shit. So we've done it. We did it against the Patriots. We played them a divisional game. We did the wild card game, and the Ravens game. Last year we did it. So sure enough, we do it this year. I wasn't there. I was at home eating popcorn, watching the boys donkey. And I loved it. I'm like you, Pat. I'm all about the petty. I think it's unbelievable. And I said it on a podcast by myself because COVID rules and Will couldn't be with me. It was during the season. There was going to be a time because Harbaugh got so butthurt about the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you have some respect? And Vrabel just big dicking him the whole time, not even looking at him, saying, go, coach, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Whisks him away, like treats him like a dirty schoolgirl. And we win the game, and they're super upset about it. And I said a week later on Busting with the Boys, I said, there's going to be a time when the Ravens get us again, and it's going to be all right. It's just going to happen, and we're going to live our lives the way we do, and then eventually we'll be able to be petty again someday. So I turn on the Ravens-Bills game, and once you know it, the heart starts just beating. Because I know that Napalm's about to go off on Twitter, and I know that WW3 is about to take over, Pat, okay?
Yep.
So I sit there, and I just halfway through the game put, cannot wait for Will's tweet at the end of this game. And I just lay it down, knowing that there's a massacre going on my timeline. Just an absolute massacre. And then Will posts, can't wait to, out of respect for the Ravens, I'll wait till the clock hits zeros. And so you know, it's just, there's fuming at the mouth for all Baltimore Ravens fans. Sure enough, Will puts the crying emojis, crying Jordan emojis on these guys. And napalm, absolute napalm went off all over Ravens fans. Then the Bills Mafia got involved. Oh. And you know how they roll deep. I've already said it once. I'll double down. They roll deep.
Hey, they're petty too. Hey, they are petty.
As petty as they come. And you love it.
Love it.
And Titans fans are ganging up with the Bills fans. It's like, it's a beautiful, it's a civil war. It's unbelievable. And so the Ravens, I mean, they're mad. Here's the deal. We're going to play them again someday. And it's going to get petty again. And I loved that they didn't even shake our hands after the game. I wasn't there. But when they beat us, they didn't shake it. They're like, no, we're out of here. We're not shaking hands. I love it. And I think they're all great guys. I love Lamar Jackson. I think Marcus Peters is an unbelievable corner. Yannick Ngakoue played for the Jaguars for a long time. I played against him a lot. Calais Campbell's there. They have so many studs. Judon, so many studs there, and I love them. And I think they're all awesome guys. I'd love to have them all on the podcast. But I love the pettiness. I hope it continues, for not only for the team's sake, like getting juiced up before the games, but for the fans' sake, going to the game thinking that we care actually way more than we actually do care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does showcase that there is, loyalty and like real passion for the teams, which is what I appreciate, which is a quick way to debate somebody that is old school that doesn't like it, just saying, oh, so you don't want your players to care at all about the team that they're playing for? No, I didn't say that. They just have to do it in a classy way. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's a little bit, can't really have it both ways in that entire fashion. It's I like it. I think it's good. You can't have them on the show, though. Busting with the Boys, obviously those episodes with the Ravens would be massive, but I think that kind of kills kayfabe, doesn't it? I mean, it kind of kills the pettiness, don't you think?
Yeah, but I'm all about clicks, Pat. So don't I'm gonna get them damn clicks when I need to get them. You know what I'm saying? We're all selling out here, dude. I'll be anything you need for $1. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want from me. What's that sign? Yeah, exactly. What's that thing from Beer Fest? $1 to look at it, $2 to touch it, $3 to watch me touch it. Like that's my motto I'm living by at this point.
Hey, shout out to you, dude. What do you got, Connor?
Taylor, you mentioned being a Michigan man. Obviously, Brady, you, Charles Woodson, maybe on that list. Why the fuck did the Michigan Wolverines extend Jim Harbaugh?
I'm never gonna be allowed back there again. I don't know. It's I just don't know what to say. I give him another year, extend the boy. Mm-hmm. And if they develop guys, I've said this on Bustin' with the Boys podcast. It's crazy how to double down, but Michigan State gets 2- and 3-star guys, and they develop these casts. And the guys like Jack Conklin, who walk on, become top 10 picks. Great. They do a great job of developing guys. Michigan gets 4- and 5-star guys, and I don't know if it's because they think they're great. Because I came in with a bunch of 5-star guys, and they thought they were the top shit, right? I don't know if it's a developmental issue. They have the best facilities. It's unbelievable. They have the history. They have the richness, the tradition. 115 fans. Biggest, the town lives for the football team. I don't know how you're not like a top 10 school every single year. And so, I drank the Kool-Aid when I was there. I hated Ohio State. I hated Notre Dame. I hated Michigan State. Now it's like, do what you want. I could care less. I kind of just moved on from that situation. I know people hate it. People are so mad at me right now for saying that, but I kind of just move on from stuff, right? And then that's why this whole Ravens thing, I'm like, it's gonna end, and then I'll be fine, and then life will just be the way it is.
Yeah. By the way, chapters, bub. Hey. Fun chapter. Every once in a while, I'll take a peek back in the book. Oh, that was fun. That was awesome. Let's go ahead and change that. Let's keep it moving or whatever. The interesting thing, though, about Harbaugh up there getting extended, it seems like nobody thought that was coming. And then he takes a pay cut and then the whole thing. And I've been to Ann Arbor. I've talked about this before. That place is gorgeous, dude. Yeah. It is absolutely beautiful up there. What do you got?
Taylor, did you watch the A.J. Brown video last night?
Good question.
No, I talk to AJ regularly. But I was texting with him and Will. Everything comes back to Will. How he said he was out for the season or something like that.
Yeah, he said he should have been out.
Should have been out. He got 2 surgeries on both his knees week 2, went on to make the Pro Bowl or whatever. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Yeah, I love it. Vrabel has a very strong stance on media. When you're talking to the media, you don't talk about other guys' injuries ever. But I'd say that was a big fat lie what he was saying. I don't know, man. I only played 5 games. And I think I only played 2 of them with him. So, hey, he's a warrior. The guy chews glass. He wakes up every day and thinks about what can he do for the team. Most selfless guy I've ever dealt with in my entire life. Of course, dude. There was a point, I think he had gangrene, and they had to amputate. They said, hey, we're going to have to take the knee. We're going to have to take from the knee down. We're going to have to take it. And AJ looked at him. He spit on the doctor. I remember this. He spit on the doctor's face and he said, I'm playing for my team. God damn it. And he did it.
He did.
Shout out to AJ Brown.
AJ. You want guys like that on your team. Hey, Taylor, you want guys like that on your team. Need guys like that.
I tore my ACL, and AJ walked up to me while I was on the field. He goes, is it your knee? I go, yeah. And he spit on. He goes, pathetic, and walks away from me. That's how tough AJ Brown is.
Hey, by the way, somebody clipped you getting knocked out or whatever. It is very far away from the play.
How funny is it, dude? So back to that real quick, because I think every time you guys have me on the show, we're on here for 30 minutes, so you're welcome. But
thank you. By the way, this is a rather shitty Wednesday.
I'm asleep. Yeah, dude, I'm definitely taking a nap in that picture. So that was the longest game in NFL history. There's a bunch of storms going on. So every 25 minutes they shut down the game.
Oh, I remember that.
So we were coming out. It was just after half or just before. No, it was just after half I got knocked out. And we went in for another rain delay or whatever. And I kind of walked outside the locker room into the open area. And there's a bunch of fans. And they're just giving it to me, dude. And I look up at them and I start kind of saying something back to them. And then I just start bawling, crying again, just started losing it, crying. And Delaney Walker puts his arm around me, is kind of like he's really embarrassed for me and kind of just takes me away. That was a bit of a situation.
Well,
it was a lot of, like I said, a lot of crying, it's like I watched The Notebook on repeat.
And also Warrior and Titanic.
It's both great movies as well.
Will Compton was the one that tweeted that picture out, by the way. He just wanted to make sure everybody knew. Just, he was kind of helping the story, just so everybody knew exactly what. Taylor, I appreciate you joining us, man. You're awesome. You stirred some shit today, though.
You guys having me on.
Hey, you stirred some shit today. I think there's going to be some conversations about what you said on here today.
But let's just do this real quick, right? I said some things, words came out of my mouth, but what does it mean? Nothing, right? Everything I said, it doesn't mean anything, right? The Ravens beat us. Harbaugh got extended, and I got knocked out. Now it's over. Watch Bustin' with the Boys. And if AJ doesn't clap for me next time, I'm going to hang up and I'll never come on the show again.
No. Don't do that.
No, I'll come on for sure. I tell you what, I need the clicks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Lewan. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Electric.
Yeah.
Every time.
He's awesome.
The independent doctor telling him he's a fan. As soon as he said it, I was like, oh, no.
Like the way you play.
Oh,
back out there. Well, I was just playing.
Oh, my God.
If he's a fan.
How about his run about AJ Gangrene? He's an idiot, dude. Bustin' with the Boys is very entertaining. I looked at his Instagram, to get it kind of refreshed. And one of his recent posts is him on the bus with his hat on, and he says, "My opinion matters because I say it does." And then, okay, H-A-K, what a legend of a man.